feels nice.
I know. Don't rub my sesame seeds off. I won't, don't worry.
They're a cute couple.
I give him a year.
Well, congrats on the movie. I've seen it.
Thank you.
Very funny. John, you get the call from, I don't know, Lauren or Nora or whoever it was saying, hey, we're doing a Bob's Burgers movie. What's your reaction?
Oh, I was like, really?
Stupid.
Like now?
Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Dad, I don't want to stop your flow, but can you pass the peel off?
No, I was really pleased because I think I've broached this before in other interviews. I think the show was talking about maybe making a movie for a few years before, but you never know if it's going to happen. It's really incumbent on the people who make the show to sort of offer that up. So it was definitely it was a pleasant surprise to hear that they finally were taking on that and going to do it.
What are we now? Over a decade since starting the journey that is Bob's Burgers. When you first got the call, forget the movie, when you first got the call for the show, was like back in 2010, 2011, what was your reaction? You know, someone says, hey, I want to do a TV show about a guy in a burger shop.
My reaction was great. So Lauren, who created the show and is the person who called, you know, he is someone I've known since the late 90s or mid 90s in Boston. And he had been in New York and we'd worked on another show together. And we spent maybe 2 years working on an 8-minute demo, re-recording things and doing it over and over. He would get feedback and change it and we'd come in. So I think at first when he said it, it's like lots of things where you get a call and you do something. You know, I've been part of many things that no one has heard of. And then, you know, for whatever, you know, then all of a sudden something you make, you know, I remember when we got the call that it was going to be a show and it was, you know, we'd worked on it for so many years that it seemed surprising and so exciting. And then even when you get to that point where it airs on television, you don't know if there'll be a second episode that'll air. You don't know if all 9 will air. You don't know if there'll be another season. So it kept being that. And it's, obviously amazing to be here and have a movie coming out.
You've mastered your own characters' voices. Could you confidently do impressions of one another's characters?
I'll do Teddy. Hey, Bob, you get some of the fix? It's pretty terrible.
You good, Linda. Bob.
That's just the jab at John.
That was whatever that was.
I thought it was perfect.
I don't think it's unfair to say that it's become like a cultural phenomenon as well. Like outside of just television, Dan, specifically Tina, has become like the master of the GIF world, or GIF, how you prefer it. I'm so curious. I imagine within this 10, 11 year period, you're at the party. Someone must have asked you to do that old, like the back pop GIF.
Yes, people do ask me or to do Tina twerking, which I don't even think is from the show. I think someone made. And I don't know if they understand the way that I don't actually do her body actions. I just the voice and an animator does that. So. But
you're trying to tell me that that's not you? That's not you.
That's not actually me wearing a costume. And I'm not very physically gifted either. So I couldn't even do that if I.
I think Dan is physically gifted, but I do imagine twerking would be hard for him.
Well, that's a message to everyone that meets you in person. Now, stop asking him to Tina twerk. It's not gonna happen. What made you want to do a Bob's Burgers movie?
We were starting to feel like we knew how to put together something big. You really don't want to do this unless you are thinking about that audience. You want to think about all those people who left their house, who parked the car, who could have been anywhere else, and they chose to come there. They paid for their ticket and they're sitting in their seat. You gotta give them a show. And that's something we started thinking about because we started doing live shows. We were actually doing Bob's Burgers on the road a little bit, and then we did 2 nights here in LA with a big band and puppets. And you know, it's its own great pleasure. Making a TV show is fun, but you're making something that's going into people's living rooms. You know, it's a little different. Once you start doing a live show and you start having to, you're responsible for these people's evenings. That is a new level of kind of excitement once you are willing to take on the challenge. And we thought we had a few tricks we could use.
TikTok is in particular is like blown up massively. There has been a massive amount of audios and clips and sound bites from the show that has made it over into that platform and to Instagram now. Have you heard any of the audios? Like,
I haven't heard any. I might have seen some Tina stuff, but I don't think I've seen any like Teddy or say Linda or Bob stuff necessarily. I think I've seen more Tina stuff.
There's a lot of Tina. I think everyone flies around.
A Tina. There's one with Linda and Eminem, comparing Linda to Eminem. That was pretty funny.
Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
So Sterling Archer, Carl from Family Guy, Bob's Burgers. To the untrained ear, they all sound like the same guy.
All right, you guys like impressions? Here's that guy Bob from Bob's Burgers. Hi, I'm Bob from Bob's Burgers. How about that show Archer? You watch that show Archer? Here's that guy Archer. Hi, I'm Archer from that show Archer. Now what if those guys met? Hey Archer, it's Bob. Hey Bob, it's Archer. Thank you.
But when you approach like each of those characters, you walk into the sound booth, are you consciously doing anything that differentiates them that we just can't hear? Or are you like, Bob sounds more like this?
It's a little bit just a different characterization, I guess. Archer's like super confident, aggressive in everything he says. He knows what he's going to say. I think Bob as a character is just less confident in general. So to the extent I'm acting, I'm maybe doing a lot of pausing as Bob and a little less confident in what I'm about to say next. Maybe more natural. Archer just seems like he's got one ear, and that's yelling at everybody.
Yeah, because you're furthest from your own personality.
Yeah, and Bob is not a yeller. So, yeah, he doesn't want to call attention to himself.
Bernard, how has developing this movie differed to, say, directing and developing an episode of the show?
First off, it was hard because we were so busy on the show. It's sort of like if you have a restaurant and you've spent like 7 or 8 years just building the street, you've got a good chef, you've got a good wait staff, you're running at maximum capacity, and then all of a sudden someone says, hey, open another restaurant. Also, it's got to be like fine dining, and that was daunting at the start because we're like, how do we do that when we've got, we're already going at 100 miles an hour. But we had a great production team. We ended up finding some great studios. One studio who did most of the lion's share of it was a studio called Lighthouse in Kilkenny, Ireland. And they were really fantastic, just amazing animators. And so that really helped to just lift the level and give it a feature look, which was a big part of it. And also just the backgrounds. We had an amazing production designer, Ruben Hickman, who just introduced shadows and light that just gave it just sort of took our normal backgrounds and just made them beautiful and just like worthy of seeing on a big screen.
I always say it has the animated movie shadow. Like you always see that extra little shadow in every line. I love seeing it. For aspiring like TV writers, filmmakers, or even like people that want to go into animation, Nora, do you have any advice for people like getting started and want to like follow in your footsteps?
I think you have to write a lot. If you want to be a writer, which is a bummer sometimes, if you want to be a writer, but it's hard to write. You have to write a lot and you have to find people that you can show your writing to. I mean, obviously I know more about the writing side than the animating side, that's Bernard, but you have to find people that you trust, you can show your writing to. You have to be okay with writing stuff that you can throw out. Don't get precious. Just write and try to tell stories that you find really entertaining. And because I think, and it's also in the movie, if you're writing something that you really love, then someone else will love it too.
Now, for the fans that are going to go to see it in a few days, they're super excited. What can they expect from Bob's Burgers, the movie?
It has a ton of Easter eggs and all your favorite characters, and it's on a bigger stage and has bigger stakes and a bigger story than an episode, but it doesn't kind of forget what makes the show good, and it's grounded and about this family.
And they can also expect a mystery, comedy, adventure musical.
A bigger story that takes place in the Bob's Burgers universe. that has everything that they love about the show itself, and is a mystery, rom-com, comedy, and a musical all wrapped into one. And if they love it, and if they love that world, then there's plenty of more episodes that they can watch of the show and stream and see more of this Bob's Burgers world. Yeah.
Fans can expect to have, I think, the biggest possible story and yet the most intimate stories for the characters at the same time. We tried to make sure that even though we were going to go fill the screen and have every, check all the boxes of what you'd want in a mystery, musical, animated adventure comedy, but we didn't leave the characters behind. We wanted to make sure that each one of them had a journey too in their little hearts.